Hello and welcome to episode number 17 of the educational series. My name is Zach Tussle. Thank you for joining me today. Today we have a question from one of our listeners. Actually, several people have asked me this over the years. How much money will I spend during retirement? We're going to look at this from both a monthly perspective and a yearly perspective, and we'll do a couple of examples at the end, so stick around. So, first part of that question, let's talk percentages. The average person in the U.S. spends anywhere between 55 and 80% of their working income during their retirement years. So hypothetically, if you were to make $100,000 a year during your working years, you need somewhere between $55,000 and $80,000 of that to live on during your retirement years, dependent, of course, on your lifestyle. Most advisors I talk with use the 70% rule, meaning we want to replace at least 70% of your income when you go into retirement, and we can achieve that normally through the investment account combined with Social Security. So let's talk about 70%. Is that going to be enough for you? Well, it depends on how much debt you have. If your house is paid off, your cars are paid off, the kids are off to college, or maybe even married and on their own at this point, you might have a lot less expenses. If you can keep your expenses low, that 70% number will work for you. If you're making $100,000 a year while you're working, that number is only $70,000 a year when you're retired. If you're making $250,000 a year, that number might be $175,000, and it goes up from there. If you're making $1 million a year, that number is $700,000. So dependent on your income now and dependent on your lifestyle now, that's where you're going to find your number. So before we go into our examples of things we could be spending money on during retirement, I want to mention one more thing to you. Healthcare costs. This is something we navigate with our clients between the ages of 62 and 65. Early Social Security or early retirement for most people right now is 62 years old, and Medicare starts at 65 years old. That means we have a 3-year window there where they're not covered by Medicare. They have to pay out of pocket for most plans because they're not working at their old employer and they're not sponsored by Medicare yet. So these values are ranging. I've seen stuff, as high as $1,500, $2,000 a month just for medical insurance. But then at 65, those premiums drop to $150, $200 a month. So depending on your health and your health situation, these numbers will all vary. Keep that in mind, though, when you're planning for retirement, navigating this gap between the ages of 62 and 65. It's easy to do as long as you have a great advisor on your side. So now let's talk about the fun stuff. What will you be spending money on during retirement? This is one example of the two that we're going to do. Keep in mind, there's thousands of things you could do during retirement. This is one I get asked a lot, and a few of my clients are actually doing this right now around the country. So I called them up, got some numbers from them, combined that with a little bit of online research, and here it is. So they spend, on average, to travel around the U.S. And see the national parks, etc., anywhere between $1,400 a month and $3,000 a month. That works out to anywhere between $16,800 per year and $36,000 per year to go around the country in an RV, buy groceries for the most part, eat out at restaurants, sparingly here and there, pay for gas and campsites, etc. So if you're thinking about RV travel, here's a good range for you, anywhere between $16,800 per year to $36,000 per year. A lot of that can be covered by either income coming off your IRA, your Social Security income, or a combination of the two. So numbers for you to think about, food for thought. So second and final example we'll do here today. A lot of clients tell me, Zach, when I retire, I want to go to the beach and I want to play golf every day. So a lot of our clients are here in North Carolina and South Carolina, so they're talking about moving to the coast and playing golf. I looked up some numbers, and they are actually equivalent with the national averages, so we'll use those national average numbers. The first thing we always talk about is housing. So what they say normally is they're going to downsize from, say, a $500,000 house into a $250,000 house. So housing is covered. They'll be able to take that extra $250,000, hopefully if the house is paid for here, and put that money in the bank or invest that money in order to earn income off of that. So housing is taken care of. They're downsizing, they're retiring, they're going into something a little bit smaller, a little bit more affordable. Now we have extra money, we can join a private golf club. So national averages anywhere between $1,000 and $25,000 for the initial fee or the initial buy-in to that private membership. So if we took an average of that average, we'd come to $12,000, approximately in the middle of that. So that's a one-time fee to join the club. Then monthly dues are anywhere between $400 and $600 per month. So if we took an average of that, it's approximately $500. $500 a month, 12 months out of the year, that's $6,000 per year. $12,000 initial buy-in. The first year would cost you a total of $18,000, and then ongoing yearly after that, it would only be the $500 a month or $6,000 per year. So keep that in mind when you're looking at retiring, moving to the beach, buying a smaller beach house, and playing golf every day. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We can sit down with you and provide specific numbers to your situation. And that's a wrap for today, so I will see you next time.